to my channel. I hope you are having a lovely day. It's getting a bit chilly, isn't it? The temperature's like suddenly dropped. I felt like quite cold, and you know, it's getting to that stage where I feel like autumn is fast approaching. With the autumn fast approaching, I could start to put together some autumn looks for you guys. It's, you know, drizzly outside, it's getting a bit colder, we're all layering up in the mornings when we leave the house. I know that when I'm going to the gym in the mornings these days, I am putting a jumper on in the mornings just to leave, and on odd occasions I'm actually going and putting a jacket on. Yes, granted, they still come off like middle of the day, but you know, I can definitely feel there's a change in the seasons in the air. And you know, I'm almost over summer. As much as I would love for it to stay forever, we all know it's not going to. So I'm edging and desperate to get into the next season of autumn winter. I kind of want to get the autumn winter clothes out. I've kind of like changing my palette of clothes. I'm today in like a mustard number, and you know, I feel like I've also been like playing with a little bit of autumn makeup already. I know I'm definitely going a little deeper on the colours, so today I thought that we could have a little play with an autumn look. It's just something really simple and really easy that you guys could put together in the mornings. You know, it wouldn't take you more than 10 minutes to put on, you know, just a really quick, it's more about like the colour choice, I would say. It's more about like going for a deeper lip colour. We all know I love my nudes, but you know, I do love in the winter to go a little bit deeper at times, and you know, it can take it. So I love to play with a little bit of a deeper lip, and you know, maybe a little heavier on the eyes, not like heavy smoky, but just, you know, a little maybe goldy and a bit deeper. So I thought we could have a bit of fun with that today and just have a little try with some autumn colours. I've got a new Revolution Pro lip colour. It's not really a brand that I use a lot for lips, but it's something I'm going to try today so we can see how it looks. And it looks amazing when I've tested it, so I haven't actually put it on my lips yet, but I think it's going to be amazing. So we're going to try that together. So basically in the mornings, if I'm on the school run, I wouldn't be going too heavy with contouring and things like that. I would probably do maybe a little bit of powder contour, depending on how early or late I've woken up, and how the day's going, at breakfast with the girls. So it kind of depends on a lot of factors for me, how detailed I go with my makeup. But I definitely do like to contour more often than not these days, even just if it's just lightly. I feel like people really do notice it, and because people notice, I want to do more of it. So I do notice they're like, oh, your cheekbones, oh, you know, your makeup looks really nice. You get more of those kind of comments, and I feel like it's the contouring, it's just adding that extra depth to you know, your makeup, and it stops it from looking flat. So I've already done my foundation and concealer, so I'm just going to go ahead and contour just very lightly. I mean, for today I'm going to use a cream contour and a little powder, but in the mornings I would probably just use my powder contour mostly. So when I'm contouring, I like to just think about putting it on like a 3, you know. And like I said, because it's daytime makeup, I'm not going to go too heavy with it. And I always like to think about my contour line from the corner of my lip to the top of my ear. So that's kind of the direction. I wouldn't necessarily draw all the way down, but that's just the invisible line that I like to think of when I'm doing that. So I'm just going to take, I like to blend out my contour, cream contour with a brush. I just find it's nicer and it's a softer kind of finish. And I just very lightly just blend it out and soften the line. I feel like also for autumn, winter, you know, we're all going to lose our summer glow, so contouring just gives you that extra bit of colour as well. It just complements with the bronzing, and you know, it stops you from looking so washed out. Right, so now I would move on to just a little bit of powder contour. You wouldn't necessarily have to, but I like to. I'm going to use the Revolution Pro HD powders that I've actually found these recently, and they're really, really good. I mean, they're really so inexpensive. I think they're like £8 or so, and you know what, they do a really good job. So what I do for my complexion, I just blend the third one in and the corner one together, and I find that's a really good tone for my complexion. I mean, if you was any darker than me, I feel like their palettes wouldn't work for you, but any lighter or about my complexion, then it's really a great palette. I don't know if they've got a darker one. So again, I would just follow that figure of 3. It's really funny, the other day my mum was like, she saw this program with, I think it was Eamon Holmes, and they did this contouring on him, and she was like, wow, there's something called contouring, and it's like, makes your face look so amazing. I'd love to try it. I was like, oh, I can do that on you. It's so funny. It's like really funny to see. But yeah, she was really impressed with the whole contouring, you know, fad or technique that's going on these days. She thinks it's wonderful. So here is really how it would be once we go on with the powder. And what I do now is I kind of just bake in between, you know, the figure of 3. Just, I feel like it just adds the definition, and you can really, it blends it out really nicely, but you can see there's like a lot more contrast with the contouring. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. I've actually just forgotten my beauty blender, so I'm going to go and grab that. I'll be right back in a moment. Hi, so I am back and I have my beauty blender with me now. I am going to bake with the Laura Mercier translucent powder. I loved this. I didn't love it as much until I started baking with it. It's one of those products where I feel like it's just amazing to bake with. But before I was baking, it was kind of a little ashy for me, and but this I love. It's like one of my, it is my favourite powder at the moment. So I'm going to bake with that, and I'm going to show you where I would put the powder. So generally what I would do is I would bake in between that figure of 3. So I would bake there and on the other side. Maybe a little bit more. And then I like to do under my eye. This is post concealer, so just so that you know. And I like to bake before I do my eye makeup. I just feel like any fallout, it will fall out on top of the powder that's baking, and it will all just be brushed off. and so it stops it from setting in your makeup, which I just find a really, like, that's the way I like to do it. I know other people have different ways, but that's the way I feel like works for me. So also what I do when I'm baking, I also just do just a little bit here, because it's the area that can get a little bit greasy. I am back with my eyebrows done. Aren't eyebrows just the most stressful thing? Well, they are for me, because my eyebrows are just so stressful. I have always, like, since I've given birth to my daughters, especially my second, my eyebrows just fall out. It started happening when I was breastfeeding, and you know, other people lose hair on their head. Oh no, mine comes out of my eyebrows. Literally the whole of this front part just literally falls out. When I'm stressed, they fall out, and both of my girls have just had chicken pox for the last 4 weeks. So you know, my eyebrows, I have had like hardly any sleep. I've been coasting around off of zero, and my eyebrows are always a thing that suffers. Very, very annoying, frustrating, because I try and, you know, I try my best to groom them and take care of them, but you know what, there's external circumstances sometimes, and what can you do? It's life. So it's one of those things though I'm really conscious about, and I'm obsessed with nice eyebrows, so it's really frustrating, but and I'm very aware of it. So I went off anyway to do my eyebrows. And I'm now back. So because of my eyebrows, I actually like to use a pencil, and I don't mind a powder as well. I find the cream ones just, it all starts to look quite fake, and I feel like where you're sometimes missing quite a few hairs, or you've got gaps from hairs that fall out, I feel like you can really kind of mimic, you know, real looking hairs with you know, a pencil. So I use the MAC pencil called Spiked, and that works for me. And I also use a little bit of gel, I think it's Blink Brow Bar, it's their gel, but probably many of them would work in exactly the same way, and I like to use that just to set it at the end. So yes, I've still got my my powder baking, so I'm going to really quickly move on to the eyes now. I'm going to keep it quite simple. I'm thinking, I love this, I don't know if any of you have tried this bronzed palette by Kylie. It's amazing, I love it. It's like the perfect everyday palette. Look, and it's got beautiful colours, and you know I love my nudes and my natural tones. This is perfect for that. I'd love to try the KKW palette as well. I haven't got my hands on that yet, I will do so, but I love this. It's really, really beautiful. So maybe we'll take a couple of things from there. Yeah, let's see. I think we're going to probably go with the second one in, but I want to use just a base, so I'm going to probably go to a different palette for that. I've got this Revolution palette with me. I might just go really simple and just this second one in. It's just for something for the eyeshadow really to sit on. And I like to just blend from the corner and just work in a little bit and then sweep across. This is actually a really nice base colour, it's really quite neutral. We'll just move on to this one as well. I mean, I'm going a bit slower just for your benefit today, but you can really put this look together really quickly in the morning. It's really quite simple. You know, and practice makes perfect with makeup. Once you get the hang of it and you get the technique right, you know, to be honest with you, you'll be a dab hand in no time. Everything's always more tricky in the beginning. So that's a good base. Let's move on to this really nice goldy colour as well now. I think I'm going to use my Kylie brush that came with it. I think it's really cool that it comes with a nice brush as well. Let's see how it's going to look. It might be a little light. It's quite light, it's a really light gold. I mean, we could probably go a bit deeper, but I feel like for daytime it's really quite nice. You don't want anything too... So I just like to blend from the corner and then just sweep it across, almost just blending it in really lightly and gently. And I kind of take the pressure off of my brush when I'm blending it in, just so that it blends really nicely with the base colour. I quite like it actually, to be honest. It's really quite nice. It's a bit like a highlighter. You could use this in the corner of your eye as well with other looks. That's why I love this palette. You can do so much with it. I'm going to move on quickly to the next eye. Same principle. Start with the corner and blend towards the middle. You know, you don't need to kind of work right to the corner of the eye. I kind of just gently take all that pressure off of the brush when you're getting towards the middle. I just think, you know, it's nice to see a little bit of that base colour blended in. Probably just pick up that base one and just blend a bit there out again. I like to just play. But actually I really like that look. It's a nice combination. I think I'm going to kind of leave it there just because, you know, we're doing a simple look today, and I don't really want to overdo it, and I'm going to be true to myself. This is kind of like what I would wear on the school run in the morning. So I'm just going to now take my powder brush and just take off blend out the baked powder. Just of course being careful of your eyes, but you know, you can, once you've taken the majority off, you can then just blend it out a little bit into the contour, just to tone it down just a little bit. I'm just going to grab my brush that I did my contour with, and I'm just gonna you know, you can see I like to blend out and put a little bit more on and then blend it out again. I just think it's always nice to build up. I hate slathering it on and, you know, really with that you've got nowhere to go. I like to put it on lightly and then just, if I feel like it needs a bit more, just add a little bit more, why not? Now that I've taken the baked powder off, I'm just going to use a little bit of a deeper colour along the same kind of muted, probably just a matte minxy kind of colour or taupe or something like that. I feel like this one could work quite nicely here. I'm just going to quickly do my lower might just add a little bit of something a bit deeper. I'm just going to go in with this one as well, just for the outer. Have to say, Kylie definitely knows her makeup. The girl is not a billionaire for no reason. She's pretty amazing. It's actually very inspiring that a 21-year-old has made such success for herself. It's like amazing. She's such a great role model for our children and for all women, of course. Right, so I'm just concentrating on the outside of my lower lash line. I'm kind of dragging it inwards a little bit as well. I'm going to move on to my bronzer really quickly. I'm using this Hourglass bronzer. It's really super amazing. I'm using it in Ambient and it's Radiant Bronze Light. It's really the best bronzer that I've used. I love this. So I'm just going to go ahead and I like to go just where I've contoured, I basically just go not below but just on the lower side of that and I bronze there. And I would do the same on the other side. And also I would also follow that usual figure of 3, just a little lighter up here and then on the lower jawline. I feel like the bronzer really makes the contouring pop. And just to finish it off, I'm going to use my Becca blush in Tiger Lily. This is such a nice colour. If you're olive skinned or you know, darker, a little bit like my complexion, I feel like this is a really great colour. It probably works really well on fair skins. I just feel like it's a really great bronzer. It's really, really nice. Don't be scared because it does look quite intense and orangey, but actually it's, you know, just have a light hand with it and it's really lovely. I'm just going to do a little bit just on the balls of my cheek. I don't like to go over the top with the blush, but I really do feel like it adds something to the makeup. And last but not least, we are going to move on to the lip colour. I'm using this Revolution Pro. I don't know what colour it is actually. I need to check that for you. It's really probably quite important that you know what colour it is. Yeah, it's like a deep mulberry and I think it's going to be a lovely colour for autumn. I'm not going to line the lips just because it's such a dark colour. This says it's a matte. I mean, the formula is quite... It feels quite thick and creamy. It's really lovely. I love this. It really does make the whole look pop. It's beautiful. And I'm actually pleasantly impressed and surprised with how nice this Revolution Pro lip colour feels. It feels really good. The formula feels quite luxurious. It's quite thick, like I said. It says it's matte, but for me it feels more like a cream, like a velvet kind of formula than a matte. It definitely doesn't feel like super duper drying, or it doesn't even like look like it hasn't even set like a matte for me, unless that's going to happen, you know, anytime soon. But yeah, it feels definitely along the lines of a velvet, but it's really nice. I really recommend yeah, this lip colour, and I'm actually excited to try more. I tend to stick with more of the higher end brands when it comes to lip colours, because, you know, back in the day they just always had that horrible smell and they always irritated my lips and they felt so awful. But maybe, you know, obviously things have changed, and, you know, they're really pushing the boat out with the formulas, with the, you know, more affordable you know, brands. But this is, yeah, see, it's good to try things. So this is the first autumn look that I am putting together for 2018. So I hope you like it. I actually really love it, and I think it's worked really well, and it's something that you can do really quickly in the mornings, and I feel like it's the perfect trans-seasonal look. Please do subscribe down below. I really do hope that you can help me grow my channel. I am new to YouTube, so I'm really excited to grow my platform, and I really do hope that you return and follow me and watch me grow. Thank you for taking the time to look at my video today. I'm always forever grateful for everyone that watches my videos. I would love you to subscribe to my channel. I rely on you to help me grow my platform. I have also a blog, a family lifestyle blog that I have run for the last 7 years. I love this space, but it's really exciting for me to be in the YouTube space now as well. Please do follow my blog. It's called Mummy Gorgeous, and it's www.mummygorgeous.com, and I also have an Instagram account where you can find a more behind the scenes into my family life with my daughters, and my Instagram name is @fortheloveofdaughters, and I would love to have you join me there too. Please do take the time to subscribe. I really do appreciate every one of you, and I appreciate any of your comments or feedback. I love to hear from you, anything that you would like to see or for me to try. I'm also into fashion, so anything along those lines I would be more than happy to accommodate, and I wish you a lovely day. Thank you.